China, all these sissy liberals want to call themselves trains, even the people on Vrchat that I want to have e-sex with, all of them are trains. My apologies for that absolutely horrible impression, but yeah, trans people exist. Shocker, am I right? Now, although while doing shit for this video, I actually got kicked and banned from a trans group, I actually decided to spend some time talking to these people as, you know, unsurprisingly, they are much more common than you'd think. And, as tradition goes, that's right, I interviewed trans people on Vrchat.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So, let's start with some basics. What even is a trans person? Well, according to Google, a trans person is, quote, a person whose gender identity does not correspond with the sex registered to them at birth, which, in caveman terms, it's someone who switches their gender. And, especially in recent years, these people have become more accepted and widespread compared to years past, especially online. But let's start looking at some statistics, why don't we? Fun, right? When it comes to genders from my interviewees, roughly 30% of them identified as being born male and identifying as female, while 60% identified as the opposite. Good shit, guys. And surprisingly, 10% actually stated they were somewhere in the middle, as either not being sure yet or choosing to go as non-binary. Now, one topic that is frequently coming up in politics, though I won't be getting that much into politics itself during this video, is how, quote, young these trans people are, as many claim they are often as young, unknowing teens. Though, what does my personal data say in contrast? Well, unsurprisingly to me, over 80% of those people were over the age of 18, which is the legal age of consent, at least in my country. And only a much smaller 20% were under that, though, as per usual, videos do take these stats with a grain of salt, as people online can actually just straight up fucking lie. Now, arguably, most, if not all people, usually transition for the sake of improving their own life. So I simply asked, out of 100, how much they would say their life improved. At least, in their opinion. And, luckily, no one said anything in the 0 to 25% range, which is of course great to hear. One person did say their life improved between the 25 to 50 range, which, although it's not the best, it is a clear and noticeable improvement. 4 people said it got better by almost 75%, and 5 people said it increased up to 100%, which is obviously fantastic for those people. Most said that their life improved mainly by the social aspect, as being referred to by their preferred pronouns, being perceived as a different gender, or simply living like the preferred gender alone gave them an insane amount of joy and made their life much more, quote, livable. One other thing that's a hot topic is HRT, also known as hormone replacement therapy, as I asked those who were over the age of 18 if they were currently using it, were planning to, or neither of which. And, well, these were the results. 6 people stated that they were considering it but not currently using it, while 4 said that they were actively using it to gain the results they desired. That's right, almost completely 50-50. Almost. But let's dive into our supper here and stop filling up on appetizers, shall we? Because, unsurprisingly, these people have a shitload of negative stereotypes and are really fucking frequently harassed because of those exact stereotypes. But what even are these, right? What are they based on? They're still well, one that I've heard really frequently, especially recently, that's apparently way more prevalent online than you'd expect is people claiming that being transgender and all that is simply a trend or a fad, and that people are only choosing to be this way for the sake of being trendy and shit. But it's quite obviously kind of, you know, like, wrong. And people often point to it becoming more common now, but in reality, it's because it's become more normalized and less discriminated against in both legislation and socially. So, but really that second one doesn't seem too promising as of now that I'm recording this. A second stereotype that I've heard, especially from seeing people get actually harassed in public lobbies, mind you, is that it is a purely sexual choice, which, although may be the case, right, for some, but it doesn't seem to be the usual or even wildly accepted, to be honest, as it's structurally, down to the foundations, the opposite of what the whole damn idea is. But I digress. It's fucked up. Pretty down pat, because if you ask me, if you attack people over how they want to live their life, you're more of a soy boy than them. Another one of the questions that only slightly shocked me was the amount of bullshit parents are putting on their kids. Because from all the people I've talked to, right? Parents have been seen to be pretty shitty. Let's be realistic. What's new, right? But as is pretty common with these interviews, I asked what parents and loved ones' reactions were like, and to be honest, sadly, the answers really didn't shock me because, many of them told me that they basically just told me fucking horror stories. I'm gonna just say it how it is. About how parents didn't care or told them off, and how one dickwad literally disowning their kid over it. Wait, no, this script can't be. That actually, oh my fucking god. But it's stupid, right? That's what I thought too, but to be honest, I'm not surprised. And that's the sad part. I've voiced my opinions about parenting before, and although I'm not a parent, I feel like I might as well air my ballsack here. Parents, care about your fucking kids. Don't matter what they want to be, who they want to kiss, what they want to do, unless it's illegal. Support them. However, now I'm just fucking ranting, so let me lock in. So yeah, wild ride, right? I know. But let me say this here now, right? These people are pretty nice. Do I think some, keyword some, of them deserve to have tomatoes thrown at them purely for their actions? Yeah. But that does not mean that all of them deserve it for their identity. Because believe me when I say that they really fucking don't. Appreciate y'all for watching. Watch my Twitch, join the Discord, all that should be in the bio. Sub, of course, but YouTube is taking my sack right now and twisting it when it comes to links in my bio at the moment, so if that doesn't work, I don't know what to tell you. Until next time.